G'day, my name's Blake Bailey, Land Services Officer for Upper Hunter Strategic Weeds, and this right here is Chilean needlegrass, one of our weeds of national significance, and also a hunter priority eradication weed. Chilean needlegrass was first discovered in New South Wales during the early 1940s in the Glen Innes region, but it is native to South America, so you're looking at areas of Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru, and southern Brazil, for example. In the hunter, Chilean needlegrass carries a regional priority eradication classification. We have such little numbers of the plant in such a limited distribution that we actually have a chance of eradicating it and keeping it out of the region. So if you do find it on your property, you need to notify your local control authority, which will be your council biosecurity officer if you do find it, and all land managers should eradicate the plant from their land and keep the land free of the plant. Any persons should not deal with the plant, where dealings include, but are not limited to, buying, selling, growing, moving, carrying, or releasing the plant. Now, why do we want to eradicate Chilean needlegrass in the hunter? If let loose, it'll compete with your pasture plants, so much so it will halve your pasture productivity during summer, it will injure your animals' eyes, it will degrade wool, affect meat quality, and reduce biodiversity in natural landscapes. In particular, Chilean needlegrass can be a tricky plant to identify. It looks incredibly similar to our native Ostrastipa spear grasses, as well as other winter green grasses such as fescue and danthonia. So, let me teach you how to identify it in the field. So, what are you looking for? Chilean needlegrass is tussock forming with an upright or arching flowering stems that can grow anywhere between 30 to 120 centimetres tall. The leaves are flat with a corsal rib surface, 1 to 5 millimetres wide, and another diagnostic feature is this small tuft of hairs at the junction of the leaf blade and the leaf sheath. Keep an eye out for those. Now, the seed head on Chilean needlegrass is what we call a panicle. It can be anywhere from 5 to 40 centimetres long and can be loose, upright, or nodding like this one. You want to look for these purple coloured structures called glooms, which are anywhere between 16 to 25 millimetres long. These hold onto one of the two seeds that this plant produces. When mature, the seed, called a floret, separates from the glooms, and these will remain on the seed head. So even if you can't find seed, have a look for these. The other thing to keep an eye out for on Chilean needlegrass is this long bristle called an awn, which is attached to the end of the seed in the glooms further on from the stem. The awn can be anywhere from 6 to 9 centimetres long. It does twist when it's dry, but it's straight, with 1 or 2 distinctive bends when it's not. It's quite difficult to pull off the seed, and it's surrounded by a corona of small teeth where it joins the seed head. The corona teeth are around about 1 millimetre long. To distinguish Chilean needlegrass from other needlegrasses, and also our native spear grasses, pull out the seed by its awn and look for this structure called a corona. Only Chilean needlegrasses have this corona of little teeth that join the seed. As I mentioned previously, there are 2 types of seed that are produced by Chilean needlegrass. We have what we call the aerial seeds in the panicle, but then we also have a secondary seed called a stem seed or a cleistogene that are produced in the leaf forks. Another distinctive feature of Chilean needlegrass are these backwards facing hairs on the sharp end of the seed. These anchor into wool or fur and can stay attached to animals for months on end. Both variety of seed, aerial and cleistogene, readily become attached to animals, clothing and vehicles. However, seeds are also often dispersed and spread by floodwaters and hay baled from paddocks with Chilean needlegrass. Chilean needlegrass is a particularly nasty weed to control due to its persistence of its seed bank, so any long-term control strategy needs to aim to control seeding and reduce that seed bank. Some things to keep in mind are that adult plants are long-lived and hardy. They are perennials, they will come back. It can flower in its first season, with seed heads emerging during spring, and most of that seed dropping by late February, with those seeds then germinating from early autumn. It's not a lot of time for control. In essence, prevention and early detection are the 2 best tools we have here in the hunter to combat Chilean needlegrass, followed only by maintaining healthy perennial pastures without thin and bare patches. Now, other regions are using chemical control for Chilean needlegrass, such as spot spraying or broad acre spraying, but the difficulty lies in creating bare patches for further weed invasion, as Chilean needlegrass tussocks are quite large, And a lot of the pasture species have variable tolerance to those very specific herbicides we need to use. Now, wick wiping is also another technique that can normally be used on invasive grasses, but it's proven to be less than 60% effective on Chilean needlegrass. Set stocking can be used in combination to allow for selective grazing in desirable species, allowing the needlegrass to grow taller and at a better height for wick wiping. But just know that Chilean needlegrass only provides average quality feed, so grazing regimes would typically look like grazing for short periods in winter, of course removing stock before reducing desirable pasture species, and then grazing heavily in spring to reduce flower stalks, where sheep can actually be used for grazing spray top paddocks for less risk of wool contamination. But then that's it. Grazing can't be used in the summer as the flower stalks are unpalatable to livestock. And lastly, identifying grasses is the hardest thing you can do botanically. I have a university degree in this and I can tell you, it's hard. If you have any suspicion that you might have Chilean needlegrass on your property, or even any doubts at all about your identification, please don't hesitate to reach out to your local council weeds biosecurity officer or to us at your nearest local land services.